Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I'm Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this quick and easy card using Stampin' Up! Materials. So this is a card that we recently made in one of my Zoom sessions. I usually do them on Wednesday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon, and also sometimes on Saturdays from the same time, 10 a.m. to noon. We do the same card both sessions, and you are welcome to join us. To find out the latest information, hop over to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room. I will give you all of the measurements to do the project, and we do the project together during Zoom, and then I follow up with a YouTube tutorial just like this to show you how to make the card. So you have a couple of chances to make this card with me, either during the Zoom session or during my YouTube video. So I'm going to point you down to my work surface and show you exactly how to make this card. Again, it's a quick and easy card that almost any level of stamper can do. So the card that I showed you, this one here, was used using the Beauty of Earth Designer Series paper. Now, if you saw my previous video, I also used that same Designer Series paper. This is the paper pack. You can see all the beautiful colors in there. It's a double-sided paper, so it does have printing on both sides of the paper. Gorgeous colors, good for all year round, and lots of great choices for masculine cards too. So that's what I used for, for this design. I also made this one. Let me move this just a little bit. So I did this one using the Hand Pen Paddles Designer Series paper. And I'm sorry, that's called Hand Pen Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! Another gorgeous paper pack. That one I also showed in my last video. Gorgeous floral prints and also kind of generic prints just on the back with just a color type of design on there, so you can use them for all kinds of different things. Those are both available on my at my online store at www.melindapierce.stampinup.net. Information is right here for my contact information. This was one that I actually received from my friend Carla. Thank you very much, Carla, for that beautiful card and inspiration. So today I'm actually going to use the print from the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. So I'm starting with, let me find my instructions. Here they are. Okay, so you can hopefully zoom in on these instructions, but the base of my card is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I have a mat that measures 5 1/4 by 4. Now I'm using cardstock. You can use a Designer Series paper like I did here for that background. This one's a little bit harder to see, but that is Designer Series paper back there. It's just a thin sheet of it's kind of like a blue skyish type of effect. But for this one, I'm just using Night of Navy cardstock. And I'm just going to adhere this on. Actually, I want to, before I do that, I want to attach my ribbon. So I'm going to use the block technique to figure out to tie my ribbon. So all you do is you take an acrylic block, you wrap this around. You want to make sure the block is big enough. This is a D as in dog size block, and I'm turning it so that the ribbon is going across the widest section of that block. So all I'm going to do is wrap this around with just enough of a tail so that I can tie a knot. I find it's a little easier to do this method to create a knot on your card, just so that you can have it nice and tight on your card and not have your card bowing when you're attaching the ribbon. So you just tie that in a knot just like you would a package. And then you turn that block around and snip that off. And then you take those two ends that you used to tie the knot, and you're going to wrap it around your card like so. So again, this is the mat of my card that I'm wrapping it around. And this is the Misty Moonlight ribbon that I'm using, which matches the Misty Moonlight mats that we're going to be using on the card. So again, I'm just wrapping the ribbon around. Just going to use regular Scotch tape to anchor that ribbon. Make sure it sticks to the back of my card. Again, you can lift that up and adjust it. Make sure it's nice and tight around your card without making your card bow. You kind of want to just make sure that these edges are vertical next to each other. And then I'm just going to cut the tails a little bit. Okay, so now I can attach this to my card base. Just put a little bit more adhesive on there, make sure it sticks. Okay, pull in my card base and stick that down. Okay, so now I have 4 square mats that measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. That's these guys here. And then I have 4 pieces of designer series paper or double-sided paper that measures 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. So they're just a 1/4 inch different from each other. I'm just going to adhere those to those mats. And making sure that they're nice and centered, the same margin all the way around. You can see how pretty that other side of that paper is. It's one of the hard parts of doing these types of cards. You never know which side of the designer series paper you want to use because they're both so pretty. What's nice about this design is that you can just use your scraps of designer series paper, and it's just such a great way to be able to use all those little pieces that you might have saved up. And it's great for those pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. You can make a lot of them just out of one piece of paper. Okay, and then we have these smaller squares. So the small designer series paper measures 1 inch by 1 inch. And the small square mat measures 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Again, each square is just a 1/4 inch larger than the other, than the designer series paper that you're putting on. Okay, and I'm just going to put these on just to make sure that everything's going to kind of fit into place before I start taping everything down. I think that looks good just like that. I'm just going to go ahead and tape it down. This would be a great card to make for Christmas using Christmas paper because it is such a quick card to put together. You can just crank them out super fast, and you're just using your paper cutter to cut those squares. So it's super easy to just, you know, cut 1 inch strips of paper and then cut it 1 inch the other way around, on the other side, to make 1 inch by 1 inch squares. And if you have the Stampin' Up trimmer, it's super easy because you can actually stack a couple pieces on top of each other and cut them all at once. I just love the Stampin' Up trimmer. It's such a great tool to have. All right, so those all look pretty equal in distance. And then I'm going to pop up this center square. I'm going to put 4 little dimensionals on the back of that. Just peel those off. And you can actually put this in the center just like that, or you can turn it on an angle to make like a diamond shape. So I'm going to do that this time. I think that looks kind of cute. I had some people during my Zoom session do that, and I thought it looked super cute. So that's one of the great things about joining my Zoom sessions, is that everybody's card always turns out different because they're using their own supplies. And you don't have to use the Stampin' Up! Products during the Zoom sessions. So everybody's samples all turn out differently. Okay, so I'm just going to use one of my punches to punch a label. And let's see, I have Misty Moonlight handy. I'll use that. And I'm just going to make this a thank you card. Just going to stamp thanks on there. And I think I'm going to raise that up on dimensionals as well. And hopefully that will fit right underneath this ribbon. I'm going to see if I can scooch it up just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work. I have it taped down pretty well. I think I can still squeeze that in there, just like so. But I don't think I'm going to raise it up on dimensionals because there's just not much room there. Alrighty, I'll just sneak that in there. So I hope you'll join us over on ours join in on our Zoom sessions on Wednesdays. They are free classes, and it's just a great way to use your supplies, socialize with some people, and just have some fun together as we craft and talk about our lives and all that kind of stuff. It's great to make friends all over the United States, and even have some Canadian members joining me on Wednesdays too. So feel free to join us even if you're not in the United States. So there is the completed card. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something new. That is one of my goals for doing these Zoom sessions, or my, sorry, my phone wants to keep sliding down. That is one of my reasons for doing these YouTube sessions, YouTube tutorials. So I hope you learned something new and had fun making the card with me if you did along with me. Again, join me on my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room, and feel free to shop on my online store 24/7 at www.melindapierce.stampinup.net. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. I'd be happy to help you out. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share and comment as well. All right, have a great day and hope to see you on my Zoom sessions. Bye-bye.